next one. So this one is asking you about an assertion that the author's making. They're saying that he shifts. They're saying that the author says that they're shifting from a culture that emphasizes the printed word to one that's now emphasizing the electronic image, and that television is competing with traditional education. Again, keywords: electronic image, printed word. Where does the author kind of mention that?
The first paragraph, last line.
Exactly. So I would read the entire first paragraph. Once I find it, I like to read my options to make sure that while I'm reading the paragraph, I'm understanding what my options are going to possibly be. So once I find where the evidence is going to be, I like to read my options.
I read the paragraph. Should I go ahead and read the choices?
Yeah, go ahead and read the choices.
Would it be D?
Okay, YD.
Because both changes involved a change in their teaching strategies. First, it was from oral to an alphabetic writing culture,
Hmm.
and then they change it to an electronic image.
Right, and they do. So they change it from printed word to one that's emphasizing the electronic image, and it always
Mhm.
include that second assertion as well, that television competes with traditional education. So the fact that here it says that the new information technology, like the electronic image, is always forcing educators to rethink their teaching strategies is too strong. Whenever I see that always word, I'm cautious because it's not
Mhm.
necessarily that it's always going to force educators to rethink their teaching strategies, even though it does here, where it says that Athens is undergoing a change from oral to alphabetic, and then the second time is when Europe undergoes a change as a result of the printing press, and that now we're having a change based off the electronic image, and that the electronic image is competing with traditional education. We can't always say that that pattern is going to continue. So
Okay.
that always word makes it kind of wrong. But I can see where you're coming from. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So what we have here is that we have multiple examples of changes and then we're given what's happening from a recent change. From a recent change, what we can see is that when we switch to the electronic image, in other words, what's the electronic image symbolizing here?
The TV?
TV, right? That the TV is now competing with your traditional education. So if similar changes have happened in the past, you can say therefore that those changes also competed with traditional education at the time.
Mm.
So what would you say the answer is?
I'm between C and A.
Okay, YA and YC.
C because it tells us that there is a change, but without the always part, like it will probably have another change because it changed from oral to alphabetic and then to electronic image.
Okay. Um, doesn't necessarily say that there has to be something other than electronic images. So they can be it can be a change in the electronic image. So it's not necessarily saying that um, the pattern is going to continue in terms of what the actual information technology is going to be. What we have is the information that they give us in the passage. Try not to extrapolate too far from what they say
Mhm.
in the passage, right? What they say in the passage is that we have changes in the past that are mimicking changes now. So that's all we're going to focus on.
So it's A then.
So it's A, exactly. So that's talking about the past and what's given to us in the passage. Whereas the other ones, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, right?
Okay.
A
Yeah.
is more a safer option based off what we have in the text. C would be going too much beyond the text.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
All right.